So I'll start with a really soft mineral, this mineral right here. And the first thing I'll do is test my fingernail. And this mineral, it actually turns out, I don't know if you can see that, but it basically just decomposed and fell apart on my fingernail there. So I would know that this mineral has a hardness of less than 1.5. If I move on to a slightly harder mineral here, I might test this and find that yes, I can feel it making an indentation in my fingernail. And then I would move on up to the copper, and you should push pretty hard here. And what I see there is that for this mineral in particular, pieces of the rock are breaking off. It's actually scratching the copper a little bit, but pieces of the rock are breaking off, so this probably has a hardness below copper. For some of the harder minerals, one mistake I often see made is students don't try hard enough to sort of break or streak with the mineral. So you really want, this is a small mineral sample, but you really want to push quite hard to test whether or not it leaves a mark in your material. So this mineral is quite hard, and I can see, for example, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but I can see that there are some streaks now on this copper plate. I would then move down the line and test progressively harder and harder things. When you get up to the glass and the streak plate, these are places where both the things you're dealing with are probably really hard, and you want to make sure you're pushing really hard. So as I push, I really don't want to be gentle. I want to push as hard as I can, and I want to see, am I making a divot in the glass, or am I breaking off pieces of the rock? And in this case, this rock actually streaked the glass. Finally, when you use the streak plate, you can see this is a sort of well-loved, well-used streak plate where people have gotten fine powders from a lot of different minerals on here. Your streak plates should all be relatively clean, but what you want to do with the streak plate is, again, push quite hard. It's not going to make a great sound. It's sort of like needles on a blackboard or nails on a blackboard. And what you should see, this mark right here, is the mark that that rock made, or that mineral made. So in some cases you will get a streak, you'll get a color on this plate. In other cases you might see just white, you might not be able to see any streak. Or of course if the mineral is very, very hard, you might not get a streak.